The Dallas Cowboys travel to Minnesota to take on the 8-1 Vikings with a 7-game win streak. And a lot is going into this game. The Cowboys coming off that disappointing loss against the Green Bay Packers. Meanwhile, you have Minnesota coming off that high of a victory versus Buffalo. Now, the question is what can we expect from the Cowboys coming into this game? What should they do? Is there a whole lot that can be done? Because you have a short week this week, guys. You got the Giants on Thanksgiving, and it's really, really important. Now, the reason I say that it's important is because if you actually go back and look at the history books in the Dak Prescott era, you can take out 2020 to be real with you, given the circumstances. But the Dallas Cowboys typically, if they win the game before Thanksgiving, they will win on Thanksgiving. And also, if they lose the game before Thanksgiving, they will lose that game on Thanksgiving. Now, I get it, certain circumstances go into certain things, but that's why this is important. I do not think Dallas will come out of this stretch 7-4. I think that they'll either come out 8-3 or 6-5. And even though that whatever happens, they're still in good shape, and I think that it doesn't matter. Play your best football at the end. But, Space, let's talk about this game. Okay, so let's start off with the offensive side of the ball for the Dallas Cowboys. They're going into a game where Minnesota is not really good against the pass. However, they have a ton of takeaways through the air. And I think when you look at what they've been able to do, a lot of it has been they're capitalizing on mistakes made by the opposing offense. Minnesota has done a really damn good job at winning these close games when they're behind or in the thick of it. And realistically, and I had to take a check, in this 7-game winning streak, they haven't really won by double digits. It's been close games that they're winning, similar to that of the Giants. Now, we're not here to talk about the Giants, and not to discredit them or Minnesota, because Minnesota's won these games. They're 8-1 for a reason. Their offense looks very damn good. Defensively, they've had a couple things here and there, but I really like what Minnesota's had to offer. Now, this is a primetime game. Oh, Space Cowboy, a 4 o'clock game is not a primetime game. Yes, it is. It's a nationally televised game for a reason, and hence the phrase primetime. Anything from 4 o'clock onwards is primetime. Don't want to hear it. So with that being said, and you can even include Thursday Night Football, I guess, but I digress. I think what you're going to need to do here is you are going to have to do with what works. I think that while Minnesota's been giving up, I believe, 400 yards a pop each game, that's really not going to matter unless you get into that end zone. So I think I'm looking for the Cowboys here to utilize play action a ton here because their edges have been very damn good. I think that if you're going to run the ball up the middle. Their defensive tackles have been a bit weak, and I think that if you can get into that second edge, that's going to be really damn good for you moving forward. I don't know if Zeke will be playing in this game, so if that's the case, that will be a barometer for if the Cowboys will lean heavy into the pass. Now, this isn't a dome. This isn't outside, so I think that's also going to play a factor as well. I think that you should expect the run a little bit more, and I think you're going to probably expect the pass a little bit more. I think that we look at what Kellen Moore's been doing, and it's really with what he's feeling. I have a weird feeling that Dallas is going to come into this game pass happy, and I think Dak Prescott's going to do his job, whether he throws an interception or two, okay. But all that matters is I think he's going to cook, and he's going to get you some yardage. It's just a matter of can he just play mistake-free football. Yes, the Cowboys are 2-2 with him under center, but I think that is a bit misleading in the sense of you had the first game, and then you had the 2 victories, and then you have this game where I put that more on your defense, even though he throwing those 2 interceptions led to 14 points. So I need Dak Prescott to play cleaner football. I think he will, and as he gets more reps in, I think that he will get better as the season goes on. Next, you look at this run game. If Zeke can't go, I want to see more Malik Davis. Malik Davis looks really damn good, ladies and gentlemen, and I think that is a nice 1-2 punch to move forward with until Zeke is fully healthy. I think Zeke is still good, but I do believe that you have the ability to replace his production somewhat in this span of time. Now, offensively, with the line and your receivers, we'll get into just a moment. Offensive line, I am a bit worried. I think that, you got Tyler Smith. I think he's going to struggle here. Your tackles might struggle in this game because of how well the edges have been playing. I do think that on the interior, you should be fine, but we've been hearing rumors that the Cowboys are trying to move Tyler inside and get ready for a return of Tyron Smith, which would be welcomed. I'm not trying to sit here and say that Tyron is trash, but you're going to have to make that tough decision, right? Now, with the wide receivers, we're going to need to see a lot more from Gallup and company. CeeDee Lamb had a career day against the Green Bay Packers. Now, can he keep that up? Yeah, I think he can keep that up, but that's really the main thing. Can the Dallas Cowboys get these other guys going? Gallup clearly looks like something's up with him. Noah Brown, he's been in and out of the lineup. Turpin's being refused to be used. Tolbert's just been complete, just trash juice, basically. I mean, you got Simi Fehoko, you got Dennis Houston. I mean, like, you just added Antonio Callaway. I mean, like, what are you going to do here? And I think that the Dallas Cowboys are probably still going to need a guy like OBJ, but I think you're not going to get him until after Thanksgiving. So if you can win these games and make an argument, I think the Dallas Cowboys might go get him, but I have my doubts, obviously. Tight end-wise, I think that you need to use a little bit more of 12 and 13 personnel, more specifically. I think that, really 12, I would say. I'm sorry. Because of the fact that that's been really successful for you. You know, I think the other thing is these bootlegs. I don't know why we're using Sean McEwen in this game, because a lot of the times that's for, either Schultz, or if you're not going to use Schultz, use your young tight ends, man. I don't want to see fucking McEwen out there. Like, let's just keep it a buck. So, there's that, and I really think this is just going to come down to how you execute offensively. And I'm moving over to the defensive side of the ball. A lot more trouble there. The Cowboys' run defense has been gashed, and I think that this can be solved. I think that there is a lot of personnel decisions that can be made to stop the bleeding. Now, what I'm worried about is you got Dalvin Cook and I believe it's Alexander Madison. Those two are going to be very crucial for the Vikings. I think that while their pass attack is going to be something, I think I'm looking at the Vikings, and you're probably going to see them run a lot. Their run concepts are straight out of the McVay system. I think that you're going to see a much more modern Vikings team offensively attack you. And so I want to see more Micah. You might have to see more Micah at edge to get to him, but don't be shocked if you see him play more linebacker snaps like he did in the last game. I'm not sure if Anthony Barr will play. I mean, hey, this is a homecoming game. Does he play? Probably not. So I want to see more Damone Clark. I need to see young guys out there getting productive, and I think that's really going to come down to it. Anthony Brown, he still has to be cleared for that concussion protocol. Is he going to be cleared for that? I don't know. I mean, it's going to be tough because as injuries mount, I think that what you want to do is play more Sam Williams at the edge. I think by doing that, what you're doing is that you are allowing yourself to have a big body guy on that edge to wreak havoc, which Dorrance Armstrong has not really done well. I think that on the interior, I think that you need to mix it up. You need, run stuffers in there. And I think that where this is going to come into play is, can Dan Quinn figure that? They've talked about, J-Ron Curse is going out like, hey, if you're not willing to stop the run, why are you here? Man, I've heard this shit so many damn times. I don't want to hear that anymore. I really don't. You need to put up or shut up. This is a huge game. If the Cowboys win this game, they can put more pressure on the rest of their division rivals to continue to win, because a victory, and if the Giants lose and Philadelphia loses, now the NFC East is in play, guys. It definitely can still in play, but it starts with Dallas winning this game. This is not going to be a gimme game. However, we know how the Cowboys can be. Usually what happens is after the Cowboys have this just demoralizing loss, and it's not like an embarrassing loss, like a loss that happens like once in a while or once in a generation, which in this case that is, because we have never seen the Cowboys give up a 14-point lead and lose a game in the fourth quarter. I think they've given up 14-point leads before, but they've won. But look, I think the way I look at it is that the Dallas Cowboys typically win their next game after a disappointing loss, and so I would be. And they are a 1-point favorite, which I'm perplexed at, but that kind of tells me Vegas knows something that we don't, and a lot of projections have the Cowboys winning this game. I wouldn't be shocked. The Vikings are on a 7-game win streak, right? And I think that eventually that will come to an end. Will it come to an end this week? I mean, historically, the Vikings have not beaten the Cowboys, and a lot of these games come down to the wire. Now, I will give it that it was Mike Zimmer, so we have a different coach. This will be on CBS, which the Cowboys have been 2-0. With Tony on the call, but that's not a guarantee. It's not a guarantee this year. I think that if I'm being completely honest with you, I wouldn't be shocked if Dallas wet the bed this game, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think this is going to be a pass-happy type of game, a lot more yardage than what the scoreboard indicates. I think that this is going to be a 34-30 Dallas victory. I think that what's going to happen is Dallas will be trailing late, and they'll come back and win the game through the pass. And I think that Dak Prescott is going to power you through it. And, then we're going to get more pissed off that we did not beat the Packers. So with that being said, guys, I do hope you enjoyed this little video here today. And if you have, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Let's see if the Cowboys can get another win here. Have a good one. Goodbye.